Roll Festival fireworks. Need a motion here?
Yeah, is there
Is there a motion?
There is a management report. If council wishes to provide funding.
Okay, so there is a motion on your management report provided in your package this evening. You'll notice it at the bottom. And I would ask someone to make said motion. Give you a second to catch up here.
Perhaps I should give some context.
Sure, Manager Mike, you may take the floor.
If I can give you some context, this was a request from the Rock and Roll Festival for assistance with, financial assistance with fireworks. The organization had $10,000 allocated. They were seeking further funding from the city. And when we last reported on this, the organization had not yet applied for a festivals and events grant. They have, and they have been allocated $5,000 under that program. So that is the recommendation, but the recommended motion is to decline any further money, subject to the caveat there is $1,500 left in your Canada Day money, if you wish to spend that. But $5,000 against the $15,000 show we thought would be appropriate.
So, yeah, Councillor DeBlasey.
Just to clarify process, so do we need to make a motion to decline it, or?
If there's no motion, there'll be no money. Or if somebody makes a motion.
The grant's going through anyway.
The grant's going through anyway. It's a program, and it doesn't involve council motion. So that money has already been awarded to them and is available for the fireworks. So the question is, does council wish to give more money? And if they don't wish to give any more money on top of the $5,000, there'd be no motion necessary, I guess.
But they've secured the $5,000.
Yes, sir.
Point of clarification from the chair here, Manager, if I may. The $1,500 left over from the Canada Day fireworks is not included in that $5,000.
No, it isn't.
Do you need a motion to spend, to allocate that further $1,500?
Which is why the secondary motion that's on there has a blank.
Yep.
And if council wants to give that on top of the 5, that would be the motion or.
So 5 and 1,500 would be 6,500 towards their total estimate. Would anyone care to make that motion? Councilor Johnston.
Thank you, Deputy. I would make a motion that council adopt the $1,500 in addition to the $5,000 from the Canada Day account towards the Rock and Roll Festival fireworks. So said.
Seconder. Councilor Summers on the question. Councilor Robinson.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I will not be supporting this motion. We've gone through the exercise of making programs for festival and events monies allocations, and you know, they were late to the table, but they were still able to secure the money through the proper granting process. And I'm not inclined to give more money than they've been awarded through the program. We just had a fabulous financial report talking about fiscal responsibility, and I just can't do it.
Thank you, Councilor Robinson. Councilor Summers.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I am going to support the motion. I will say that I'm pleased that they got their application in and secured the $5,000. I'm not sure if the additional request for $1,500 that Councilor Johnston just put on the floor is going to go through or not. But I have seen in the past where other festivals have come in late to the party and have received funding. I respect where Councilor Robinson's coming from as well. But I will go ahead and support this motion and see what happens.
Thank you, Councilor Summers. Councilor Harris?
Yeah, thank you, Deputy Mayor. You know, agreeing with Councilor Robinson for sure, we do have a process in place. It's been in place for the last year. It hasn't worked perfectly. Obviously, we have dealt with too many issues around the council table, which hopefully going forward that there is a set date that groups have to have their request in, or they just don't come to council. I mean, that's why we have policy, and that's why we have to be, you know, we have to hold our line on this. For the $1,500, it is there. I mean, one way or another is not going to change a whole lot with our financial, as was brought up a few minutes ago. We are in great shape, and kudos to everybody involved for that, for sure. But I think if we're going to move forward, we we have to put a date with this. If there's not 30 days before the festival that they need their money, then it doesn't come back to council, and I think that's that's the issue right now. We're waiting right to the last hour to try to approve stuff, and you know what? I don't even see on their letter, though, where they're requesting 10. It shows that they're prepared to put in 10. So is 5 not sufficient on their 10, or where'd the 10 come from that we're thinking that they want?
It's from conversations with the group. We had meetings with the group to provide in kind.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Harris. Councilor Johnston, excuse me.
Thank you, Deputy. I respectfully disagree with my colleagues that are against this, and this is why. Number one, it may have not been formally applied for as per the process. However, there was communication with the city administration that they did need the money for the festival. The festival was bumped due to other activities and circumstances surrounding the summer schedule and stuff. Later in the summer, there was some confusion around it. They did apply. Now, albeit they didn't apply through the formal process, but the communication was there. Secondly, the $1,500, I'm ethically, I don't see it as an overextension of not being responsible with the taxpayers' money. It's already there. So if you look at it, the city budgeted for Canada Day fireworks. There's approximately $1,500 left in the Canada Day account. That's what it's for. Let's use it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Johnston. Anyone else? Councilor DePlacy.
Always love a good fireworks debate. I think it's annual every year. But I think I do side on, like, we took a hard line just recently on the kind of backing up the staff's process for that proposal, or the program. We did a review of that program in depth. We didn't, I think it was a unanimous decision to repass that program and policy. So I think we stick with it. And at the end of the day, I'm not the biggest fan of using tax dollars to literally blow up in the sky. I think that can be left to kind of private sponsors and that sort of thing. Always love getting people together, and that's all great, but fiscally responsible fireworks is a bit of an oxymoron.
Thank you, Councilor DePlacy. Anyone else? All right, on the question, all those in favor? Aye. That's 3. All those to the contrary? 4-3. Motion's defeated. Yep. So the motion is defeated. Noted.